Brace the rudder! Raise the sails! Raise the sails!
Captain, an unidentified ship is approaching. Over.
Roger. Wait, is that an Enterprise sales solution?
Reach sales professionals, not professional sailors. With LinkedIn ads, you can target the right people by industry, job title, and more. Start converting your B2B audience today. Spend $250 on your first campaign and get a free $250 credit for the next one. Get started today at linkedin.com/campaign. Terms and conditions apply.
With the Walmart app, you can squeeze in those final days of summer and nail that back-to-school shopping list. So keep working on that tan and let Walmart Express Delivery handle the rest. Chromebooks, Clorox wipes, Sharpies, glue sticks, pens, pencils, and more. All delivered in as fast as an hour. So pour yourself another iced tea. Summer's not over. Last-minute back-to-school supplies delivered fast. The Walmart you thought you knew is now new. Subject to availability. Fees and restrictions apply.
This episode is brought to you by Nespresso and Samra Origins by the Weekend Coffee Collection.
Introducing Samra Origins. My collaboration with Nespresso is a connection to my roots, to my mother, Samra. Coffee that hits the right notes. It transports you. Crafted with unique notes and bold, soaring flavors. Experience a taste that moves you. Nespresso and Samra Origins.
Discover more at Nespresso.com.
Hey everyone, welcome to this edition of Keep Watch Pass on the It's Not That Bad podcast channel. So it wasn't that long ago that we did an episode on movies about police. And I made a point of, in that episode, keeping it primarily to officers in uniform, officers on the front line. And I mentioned in that episode that I wasn't dealing with anything featuring like a detective, because maybe by chance we might have actually been prepping the very episode that you're listening to right now. We're talking about movies starring detectives. And here to join me, my lovely wife, Carrie. Carrie, how are you doing?
I spy with my little eye. No, I don't know.
We're not doing spy films, although spy films would be a fantastic episode.
Ooh, yeah, another week.
Get the book, write it down. Spy movies is going to have to be something that we cover somewhere down the road. But we're talking about detectives here. So if I say a detective, a movie detective, obviously cops are kind of out of the picture for you. What were you looking for in your movies starring detectives?
Taking it out of the men and women, the boys in blue, to the next level, whether it be, I guess I'm looking for more of a murder mystery, a problem to solve, detective work, like the next level of policing. And mad respect to all levels, but I was kind of looking beyond. I was looking, for the mystery that goes along with it.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
Like detective work.
Yeah. See, I mean, I was looking for movies where a main character is, could have been FBI, could have been CIA, but also could have been a private gumshoe. Someone who's, got basically someone whose job could include a fedora. That's basically, I think, what I was kind of looking at here. Could. Doesn't necessarily mean it does. Could. And here's what we're going to do. We're going to pick 3 films each. A keep, a watch, and a pass. The keep is one, of course, that we hold in high regard. The watch is one that, even if it has commercials, we'll still watch it. And the pass is one that gets no fedora from us. So, Carrie, why don't you kick us off with your keep detective film?
Well, my keep, the character has a fedora.
Okay.
Has a multi-purpose trench coat.
Mm-hmm.
I'm talking about na-na-na-na-na, Inspector Gadget, na-na-na-na-na, na-na, woo-hoo.
Are you talking like the Matthew Broderick?
I am talking Matthew Broderick.
Oh my God.
Yes, I am.
Oh my God.
How fun was that movie? I know. And does it not qualify? I think it does.
It qualifies for sure.
I loved it.
I mean, that's a brave movie to try to do, right? Because when you consider the original cartoon, and of course originally voiced by the man behind Get Smart, it's that's an interesting character.
But Matthew Broderick played it so well.
Well, of course he did.
He bumbled his way through it, and it was everything.
Because Inspector Gadget himself is a bit of a bumbler, right? Penny solved everything. Penny and Brain did. You know, of course, immediately I have to lower my voice. Probably mess it up along the way. Because you cannot have Inspector Gadget without Dr. Claw.
Right?
I'll get you next time, Gadget. Next time. And if I remember correctly, that's Frank Welker, who is also the voice of Megatron, at least from the cartoon. But yeah, it's a reach from a CGI point of view to do that kind of film, because you got to do a lot in order to be able to say you are Inspector Gadget. There's got to be a lot of things coming out of your hat, coming out of your jacket, coming out of your boots. Like, they did a pretty darn good job of doing it. I will give them that. Even if the CGI doesn't hold up, especially to this day. But I mean, it's also a kid's film. Like, suspension of disbelief isn't even in question at that age.
And that's the thing, is this is a core memory for me. Not only did I grow up as a child watching the animated series, however, our oldest was the one that approached me and asked if we could watch it. And I was like, heck yeah, I'll get the popcorn.
But I mean, this was also like the cartoon itself. This was the era of the after school cartoons. This was the era where you rushed home because at 3:30, they started showing all the good cartoons. I mean, Inspector Gadget was one of those after school cartoons. Battle of the Planets was one of those after school cartoons. I think Speed Racer was also one of those cartoons back then. I mean, keep in mind, we are talking about a Canadian-based, Ontario-based viewing catalog of shows. But yeah, there was something to be said. And it's also around the same time as like Saturday morning cartoons, right? So these days, you just have cartoon networks. You know, you have everything on demand. So it took out the idea of appointment viewing, but damned if you didn't run home from school. You didn't hang around the playground. No. Afternoon cartoons had to be watched. And Hercules, where every monster sounded the same.
Oh my God, and My Pet Monster?
Okay, well, you watched My Pet Monster. I was watching Hercules and freaking Battle of the Planets, which was just the North Americanized Gotcha Man. And I think they did the movie okay for Inspector Gadget. I can't fault you for that pick, especially because our oldest was the one that would kind of, the minute your kid, the minute your kid says, I want to watch a movie with you, you stop what you're doing and you watch the movie, because that then becomes a core memory for yourself.
And them.
Oh, absolutely, for them, right? It's just time together. That's the beautiful thing about movies. It's time together.
Exactly. And it doesn't matter how many times I've watched K-pop Demon Hunters this past month. Every single time I get asked, heck yeah.
Oh, that's because you're golden, baby.
Aw, nice.
All right. So my keep pick isn't just a core memory for my movie watching days, but it's also, I think, a core memory for the evolution of animation in live action movies. I'm talking about Who Framed Roger Rabbit.
Oh, great pick.
Right?
Oh my God, I forgot about that one.
Bob Hoskins as the private eye who's looking into the problems in Toontown. Like, everything about this film. Christopher Lloyd as the villain behind everything. Oh my God, what an iconic look. Iconic look. But that's the thing. This wasn't Bugs Bunny that we were talking about here, but it definitely skewered all of those cartoon properties with their own versions of it. Like, it's brilliant.
When you talk about iconic look, all I can think is that sad rabbit with the droopy ears and going, please.
Right? And of course, Kathleen Turner is the voice of Jessica Rabbit.
Oh,
you
absolutely
could not have picked a better voice actor for that role. My God. Like, that voice is iconic in that role. But that's the other thing too, is that this wasn't just, you could have done this all in animation and wouldn't have been anywhere near. The fact that it was live action interacting with animated characters, it was something that we hadn't really seen done as well up to that point. I mean, nowadays, yeah, sure, you can do it, but it took a lot of planning, it took a lot of thought process. On set, a lot of the practical effects and the way everything was timed out, it was superbly well done and is still infinitely watchable today.
As a sports fan, I have to confess, sometimes the game gets kind of boring. That's when I unfold my Samsung Galaxy Z Fold 7 and use multi-window viewing on its large screen. Boring game? I'm checking out my fantasy baseball league at the same time. Score still 1-0? I'm replying to emails in the other window, scoring points with the boss. Semifinals finally getting exciting? I'm buying tickets to the finals and booking my flights. Can your phone do that?
The new Galaxy Z Fold 7. Get yours at Samsung.com.
Welcome to Only Murders in the Building,
the official podcast.
Join me, Michael Cyril Creighton, as we go behind the scenes with some of the amazing actors, writers, and crew from Season 5.
The audience should never stop suspecting anything.
How can you not be funny crawling around on a coffin? No, that's true.
Catch Only Murders in the Building official podcast, now streaming wherever you get your podcasts. And watch Only Murders in the Building, streaming on Hulu and Hulu on Disney Plus for bundle subscribers. Terms apply.
This episode is brought to you by FXX and Hulu. Futurama returns on September 15th, blending heartfelt moments with razor-sharp humor while accidentally saving the day. The Planet Express crew is back, defying gravity and common sense. From the creator of The Simpsons comes 10 new episodes where the romance is hotter, the threats are bigger, and the action hits harder. Don't miss the all-new season of Futurama returning September 15th at 8 p.m. Watch it on FXX or stream it on Hulu.
For my watch pick, I'm going with an FBI agent going undercover to try to stop a group of bank robbers. Just so happens that they're also surfers. I'm talking about Point Break, the original, not the remake. Keanu Reeves, Patrick Swayze. Patrick Swayze in all his freaking glory. Also, small little appearance by Anthony Kiedis in that movie. But I mean, like, this film shouldn't work. Keanu Reeves as a surfer, Johnny Utah going undercover. It shouldn't work, but it does. And I'm not quite sure if it's just the youthful exuberance of Keanu Reeves, just the utter cool of Patrick. Even Gary Busey is good in this. Everyone's good in this. I'm sad that they did a remake. This is one of those films that should never have been touched because it was perfect the way it was. Like, where does this fit on the Keanu Reeves list of films?
Oh, it's definitely up there. I mean, it's in contention with Bill and Ted, which I freaking love. I love Bill and Ted. I was one of those fans that lost my mind when they were finally had the reunion and they were coming back with the Bill and Ted. After seeing the third installment, I was like, oh, did that really need to be done? But no. As a fan of the previous, you know, the iconic Bill and Ted characters, yeah, you know what, it kind of had to. But did it really have to?
Did it really have to? No.
I'm sure we'll talk about that one later.
Oh, at some point, yeah. But I mean, also when you think about Patrick Swayze and where he was in his career, like prior to this, you got Dirty Dancing, which of course is like peak, right? And then of course you got Ghost. You cannot forget Ghost. Here he's taking the role of the bad guy, but he's such a charismatic bad guy that you cannot hate him. You want him to kind of get away. You want him to not be brought in by Johnny Utah.
And this is after Roadhouse.
Yeah,
I'm kind of thinking like, he wasn't a bad guy, but he could certainly kick ass.
Oh, he wasn't a bad guy, but he was just a badass for sure.
Yeah.
But that's the thing. Like, but he was still the hero in that film.
Yeah.
Right? He's the bad guy here. And I think it's a smart role for him to take because it allows him to kind of chew the scenery a little bit. Because I'm sure every actor that will tell you is like, yeah, sure. Be the hero. It's all good. You save the day. You be the villain. And you can have some fun.
Well, Nicolas Cage made a career of it.
Well, he was
Right?
also the hero too at times, but
Is he going to be the good guy or the bad guy or just Nick Cage?
right. But look at David Tennant.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh.
You're talking about a man who was very much the hero when he was the Doctor in Doctor Who, right? And he is still my favorite Doctor to this day. Like, I grew up during the Tom Baker years, which is why I also like Matt Smith. But I mean, it's Tennant and everyone comes after him. But to see him in Jessica Jones, just dance on screen. Like,
Kilgrave.
but the fact that he made that character, there was that moment in that series where you felt for Kilgrave, where you like sided with him, and he just chewed every moment. Like, Jessica Jones season 1 is the best single season Netflix Marvel season, period. I know people are going to sit there and say, what about Daredevil? No.
Echo.
No. I'm talking about the Netflix era ones, though.
Okay.
So Echo was still Disney.
Fair.
Right? And yes, the first season of Daredevil is good. Second season of Daredevil is very good. Everything else, on a single season basis, Jessica Jones season 1 tops the list. Personal opinion.
Agreed. I would agree with that.
Yeah. And I think it's primarily because of David Tennant, even though Kristen Ritter is fantastic in the role, and I cannot wait for her to appear in season 2 of Daredevil, Born Again, because that's happening.
Well, it really started everything. I mean, that was the beginning. And then the Nick Cage series. And then
Luke Cage. Nick Cage as a Marvel superhero is definitely not going to happen, although that would be the most chaotic season of a Marvel show. I don't even know who Nick Cage should be. And don't say Ghost Rider, because those Fox films don't count. I don't even know who Nick Cage would be in an MCU era film, but it would be a fascinating deep dive into some very interesting characters in the Marvel pantheon of characters.
I had Nick Cage on the brain.
Of course.
The bees.
No, not the bees. Not the bees. Gary, what's your watch pick?
This one is not for the family viewing.
No?
No. It has Muppets or puppets.
I know where you're going with this.
But definitely not a family friendly. I'm talking about Happy Time Murders.
Here I go.
Do I need to say anything more?
Here I go. If you've seen the movie, you're laughing right now. If you haven't seen the movie, you're like, what the hell is he saying?
This movie was probably the worst take on Sesame Street ever. Like, you've taken a wrong turn somewhere off Sesame Street.
Yeah, if you're off Sesame Street, then you're on like Muppet Skid Row at this point. And that's kind of what this... You are in the way wrong neighborhood at this point. Yeah.
There's nothing happy about this.
Well, there was one moment of happiness in this film, but... Here I go.
Oh my God.
And I know at some point we're going to have to cover this in 2026 because yes, it does definitely qualify. But I mean, like, this isn't the first time that people have taken puppets and done bad things with them. The whole Avenue Q live stage play.
Hold on now. What I'm thinking of... I know we have the DVD. It was a strange, random find.
Greg the Bunny.
Greg the Bunny
was fantastic.
With the Count.
No, Count Blah.
Count Blah.
Blah. What is your name? I'm Count Blah, Blah. Blah, blah? No, I'm Count Blah, Blah.
Blah, blah.
Greg the Bunny was one of those, like, it was such a fantastically weird, funny one-off show. And yes, we do still have the DVD because physical media rules. Well, speaking of one-off shows and comparing animation and live action, remember Son of Zorn?
Oh.
Son of Zorn was so good.
Yeah. Well, I mean, okay, even previous to that, Elf, to an extent. There was one with like a long-eared, really scruffy looking bunny. And I'm not talking Greg the Bunny. I'm talking about, it was like late night television. The rabbit cursed a lot. It was.
What the hell were you watching while I was working night shifts?
Maybe it was Greg the Bunny. I don't think. No, it wasn't Greg the Bunny. It was a different.
You're making this sound like Bing Chungus on a bender.
No, it was like a floppy dog, with ears, like big floppy ears, and one man who would like sit on a couch, kind of like an Al Bundy, kind of like.
Wilfred.
Was it?
Yes, Wilfred.
Okay.
Now I know what you're talking about.
This was not a fever dream.
I can stop calling 911 and put the hug me coats down. She's not losing it yet.
But
All
anyway,
right.
I love, you know what? If this were a genre of like, you know, imagination meets reality meets a fever dream or things that should not be. Like when you see, you know, a puppet or a Muppet or a stuffed character, it's supposed to be friendly, but then it turns and starts trash talking like Ted.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
also Ted.
Ted, great example.
But that's the interesting thing. Anyone who has done any kind of puppetry work, I guarantee you there are outtakes where those puppets do bad things. I'm sure even on like the most kid-friendly of shows and during the production reels, I guarantee you there are bad, nasty outtakes that never made it to the show.
Sesame Street?
Oh, I'm sure. I am sure. There's like
Grover.
I'm sure there's some kind of weird blooper reel where Oscar is banging Elmo and it's
oh my God,
right in the trash cans, let me tell you.
Elmo
needs help.
Tickle Me Elmo just had a whole new meaning.
I am so sorry if you ever watched these shows as a kid and now you're sitting there going, that explains why Elmo talks so high. Okay. All right. So before we pass on the rest of this conversation, what's your pass pick for detective films?
All righty then.
Oh, you're going there?
Passing on Ace Ventura.
Wow. The first one or the second one, When Nature Calls?
When Nature Calls.
Okay. I'll agree with you there. There's another film where the first Ace Ventura Pet Detective was funny as hell, right? Because it was new. It was different, right? It was a new character, and it did really well. I still love that. Does he have a dorsal fin? Okay. Like, it was funny.
But then why? Why did they have to beat that dead horse? And was there a dead horse?
I'm sure there was a dead horse that got beaten by a bunch of puppets. But no, just because the first one did well, Hollywood, doesn't mean that a sequel needs to be made. But of course, studios are like, this made a lot of money and it's not going to cost us too much to do another one. Let's do it again. And of course they did it again because people don't know how to just do a one and done because they want the money and the jokes become lame. Like, let us just have that one moment. The list is long of characters that were hilarious in the first movies and then lackluster in the second and probably even worse in the third and so on because sequels are inevitable. They are inevitable. As much as you don't want them to be, if a movie does well, guaranteed the minute you cross a certain profit threshold, they're going to think, we should do this again. Easy money.
Right. They made a third, didn't they?
No, I don't think they made a third.
When Nature Calls.
When Nature Calls was the second one. I think they stopped after that because it didn't do very well.
Well, because it was a bad idea to revisit.
Let's not do like a Bill and Ted here and revisit the Ace Ventura world later on down the road. Like I don't want Jim Carrey to do another Ace Ventura film. And I don't want to see like a prequel of Ace Ventura. I don't want to see how does Ace Ventura become the pet detective. I don't want to see that film.
Yeah. How did Dumb and Dumber meet?
They did that and it sucked.
Exactly.
All right. For my pass pick, I'm going to Nick Cage because of course I'm going to Nick Cage.
We're back to Nick Cage. This is the Nick Cage show.
It is the Nick Cage show. It feels like, and I'm passing on a movie. I mean, it's got a tough subject, but is Nick Cage the guy you want to handle a tough subject? I'm talking about 8mm. So Nick Cage is a private eye that has to try to investigate and bust up a snuff film operation. Nick Cage is the guy you want doing that?
Okay, see, I wasn't sure if you meant Face Off.
No. See, I liked Face Off. I couldn't pass on Face Off.
Oh, no, that's why I was shocked. But yeah, no. 8mm, you know what, though? It was very well done because it was hard to watch.
Yeah, but first of all, at what point does a Hollywood executive go, snuff films are bad, we should make a film about snuff films? What? No. This is a topic that shouldn't even be brought to the public. Really, to be honest. Like, it's a dark corner of the world. Let's keep it in the dark corner. All right? The fact that they even exist is pathetic. And then they're like, all right, well, we're going to make this dark noir kind of film. And Nick Cage is going to be the guy that... And it just drags. It felt like it wanted to be edgy, and it just became seedy. And that's but not seedy in a good way. You know, you can have seedy in a good way if you're doing some kind of like dark noir kind of take. But I don't think this fits into that dark noir.
I thought that's what they were aiming for, that it really fit the tone.
If they aimed for it, they missed it. Like by a country mile, they missed it. But it's one of those films that's on the list of, oh, Nick Cage also did that. Okay. You know. Because Nick Cage has a very long filmography. And this is one that if we go back and revisit, movies starring Nick Cage, I would also put this in the past category there as well. It just wasn't good. And this is another one where there's a sequel and it didn't need it. There's an 8mm 2. Doesn't have Nick Cage in it, but there's an 8mm 2 because apparently once wasn't bad enough. All right, Carrie, remind our listeners what your keep, watch, and pass detective films are.
I am keeping Inspector Gadget, watching Happy Time Murders, not with the kids, and
apparently not with me because I'm going to keep going, here I go.
and passing on Ace Ventura, When Nature Calls.
All right, I am keeping Who Framed Roger Rabbit. I am watching Point Break, and I am passing on 8mm. Carrie, thank you so much for this. And to you, our dear listeners, you guys know the drill. If there's a topic that you want us to cover on Keep, Watch, Pass, or a movie that you want us to cover on It's Not That Bad, hit us up on social media at Not That Badcast, or go to our website at notthatbadcast.com. And while you're there, make sure you check out our merch section to see if there's anything there that you like. Until next time, she's Carrie, I'm Jay. You guys are awesome. This is Keep, Watch, Pass on the It's Not That Bad podcast channel, a proud member of the Pantheon Podcast Network. Take care.
That's the sound of the fully electric Audi Q6 e-tron and the quiet confidence of ultra-smooth handling. The elevated interior reminds you this is more than an EV. This is electric performance redefined.